This is immigration attorney Parviz Malakouti, and in this video, I want to talk about a misconception that I see all the time in naturalization applications when people are asking me in consults about this. And that basically has to do with the amount of time that you have to spend in the United States in the 3 or 5 years preceding the filing of a naturalization application. Most people understand the requirement of what's called physical presence, which is that you have to be in the United States on a day-to-day basis more time in the preceding 5 years or 3 years if you're married to a US citizen than not. Okay, so that means basically if you add up all the days in the previous 5 or 3 years to your naturalization application, you have to have been in the United States at least one day more than you are outside of the United States. Okay, that is physical presence. The thing that people don't understand is that there's another requirement related to naturalization that has to do with the period of time that you stay in the United States. And that is called the continuous residence test. Continuous residence. Continuous residence is basically showing that during the entire period of time, qualifying period of time before your naturalization application, again, 5 years or 3 years if you're married to a US citizen, during all that period, you maintained residence in the United States. Okay, so a couple things. If you left the United States during that period of time for more than 6 months or less than a year, then you are presumed to have abandoned residence in the United States. Presumed. That's a rebuttable presumption. That means basically that the burden is on you to prove that you did not abandon your residence in the United States. So again, that's from over 6 months to up to a year. Okay. Now, how do you do that? The way you do it is, and I'm basically pulling up the USCIS policy manual right here. These are 3 ways that you can show that you did not abandon your residence in the United States if you were outside the US for more than 6 months but under a year. Number 1, the applicant did not terminate his or her employment in the United States or obtain employment while abroad. Number 2, the applicant's immediate family remained in the United States. Number 3, the applicant retained full access to his or her United States abode. Okay, these are 3 pieces of evidence that can help you prove that if you were outside the United States for, let's say, 7 months, okay, during the previous 5 or 3 year period before your application, that you did not abandon your residence. It doesn't have to just be one of these 3. There's other pieces of evidence that you can use to prove that as well. For example, 2 weeks ago, I represented an individual in a naturalization application that left the United States for over 6 months. And during that during the interview process, the adjudicating officer was starting to probe about during that period of time and basically asked the applicant questions about what he did to maintain ties to the United States. And I had to chime in, and I kind of went back and forth in a friendly, respectful way with the officer, basically showing that the applicant maintained his abode, he maintained his residence in the United States during that entire period of time, and B, that the applicant had filed income taxes during that period of time. Those were 2 big factors that ended up working on our favor. And in the end, the applicant ended up getting approved for naturalization. Okay, so that is continuous residence. Okay, that's different than the physical presence test. Now, what if you have been outside of the United States for a year or more? Okay, well, an absence from the United States of a year or more does break the continuous residence requirement, okay, for the purposes of naturalization. If that's the case, you want to look into what's called the 4-year and 1 day, 4-year and 1 day rule. I have a video on that. I'm going to link to that right now in the card above. Okay, so basically the bottom line is, I'll finish with this. If you have had, or if you have an absence coming up that's unavoidable, okay, for over 6 months and you're a green card holder, first of all, think about contacting a lawyer to get advice. Second of all, if you want to maintain your continuous residence, okay, so that you can apply for naturalization sooner rather than later, start thinking about measures that you can take to prepare for that. Maintain your abode, maintain your employment if possible, pay income taxes, continue to show your links to the United States during that period of time that you're abroad, okay, from 6 months to a year. Okay, that's it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section. If I get enough interest in a question, maybe I'll do a video on that. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. That's it. Take care.